So to all my Tesla lovers out there, I want to know, do you have a preference for the Model S or the Model X? Now, I've been a Model S owner for the past 5 months, but I've had the opportunity to drive around this beautiful Model X around all day. And I'm starting to wonder if I made the right decision or not. So by the end of this video, you're going to find out whether or not I have buyer's remorse or if I'm perfectly happy with my decision to get the Model S. So without further ado, let's go check out what makes this car so different from the Model S and also what makes it so similar. So let's go. To prepare for our 2,000-mile road trip to California this week, we dropped our Model S off to get serviced, and we were given a Model X as a loaner car for the day. Here are the similarities and differences I noticed between the two cars. So Model X versus Model S. Well, here's the thing. They're actually both really similar from what I can see. I mean, basically the Model X just looks like a larger version of the Model S, but not that much bigger. I mean, the main differences between the two is obviously one's a sedan and one is an SUV. You can even get them configured with the same combinations of battery packs and electric motors, although with the Model X, you only have the option of doing all-wheel drive. When we first got our Model S, we had the option of getting the Model S 75D or just the Model S 75. Now with the Model X, you don't have that option. You can only get the D with the Model X. Now keep in mind, with the newer versions of the Model S, the same thing's gonna happen. Now I'm strictly talking about the older versions of the Model X and the Model S. So we had that option, but now going forward, people who buy the new Model S's, they're not gonna have that option either. So it's only the D going forward for all the Tesla models. Now, although the Model S and the Model X are very similar, because the Model X weighs more, you can expect that to affect its speed and its distance. So for example, if you have a Model X and a Model S that are configured the same exact way, you can expect the Model X to go about 20 fewer miles than the Model S and be half a second slower when going from 0 to 60 miles per hour. But in the grand scheme of things, does it really matter? Because when it comes to Tesla, the Model S and the Model X are the cream of the crop when it comes to both speed and distance in electric cars. Now, what about the physical appearance of the two vehicles? Most notably, there are the Falcon wing doors that fold up and out on the Model X, a show-stopping feature that's guaranteed to impress friends and get you lots of looks out in public. Other than it being an impressive party trick to show off, I think it also serves the functional purpose of creating a larger opening for people to get into and easier access to the second and third rows. So there's a lot of different ways to open this car, which is pretty cool. So one way is via the key fob, which you can double click the side of it, it'll open it or it'll close it. And then another way, obviously, is to just push the handle in. And then another way, if you want to close it, you can actually do it from inside the car. Bam! How cool is that? Speaking of opening doors, another function of the Model X has that the Model S doesn't is the option to upgrade your X to self-presenting doors. They open automatically as you walk towards them, which is cool. The doors will also close when you step on the brake, or you can just control the doors from the touchscreen. Now, one of the drawbacks of the Falcon wing doors is that because part of the roof is now the door, you can't mount a roof rack to the Model X. With the Model S, however, you don't have that problem. Tesla Roddy posted this nifty roof rack review with photos of what the Tesla Model S looks like with one installed. Another thing I loved about the X is the panoramic windshield versus the all-glass roof of the Model S. While I love both, the glass roof in the Model S benefits the passengers more than it does the driver because of where it's located, whereas the panoramic windshield in the Model X is up front. So it was nice to experience a nice view for once while I was driving the Model X. The only minor annoyance I had was with the driver and passenger mirrors. They seemed a little flimsy, so they kind of vibrate when you're driving the car, which can be distracting. Another difference is the wheels. On the Model X, 20-inch wheels come standard and you can upgrade up to 22-inch wheels. On the Model S, 19-inch wheels come standard and you can upgrade to 21. One thing I find cool is how many seats you can have in the Model X. Of course, it only comes standard with 5, but you can pay a little bit extra to have 7, which I think is awesome if you have a family or if you just travel a lot with a lot of different people. Now, it's just really me and Carl, so we don't really need this many seats in our vehicle. So for that reason, the extra seats is not necessarily a plus for us. We're perfectly fine with having the amount of seats that we have in our Model S. Now, one thing I don't like about the seats in the older model is the inability to fold the middle row seats down. With this older model that we were given as a loaner, we noticed the mobility of the middle row was limited to just scooting forward and at a slightly downward angle, but that's pretty much it. You can't fold them down. Although I do think it's cool you can control the seats from the touchscreen. Now, the newer Model X versions, however, do offer the functionality of being able to fold flat both the middle and third row seats, but they only offer it with their 7-seat interior and 5-seat interior. If you get the 6-seat interior, only the third row seats fold flat and not the middle row. There's also the trunk space. Our Model S trunk is surprisingly spacious, and when we fold the rear seats down, we can actually fit a blow-up mattress back there and camp out during road trips. With this older Model X, you can't do that. While you can fold the rear seats down, they aren't flush. The bottom of the trunk is not even with the folded seats, therefore it does not create a seamlessly smooth surface suitable for laying down on. And even if you do try to lay down, because the middle seats don't fold down, your entire body won't be able to stretch out like it can in the Model S. The other disadvantage of the design of the seats is how it obstructs the rear view mirror. I didn't like how when I looked through the rearview mirror, my field of vision was more limited with the Model X. In my Model S, the headrest of the middle seat in the back is slightly lower than the other two, which helps me see better. One thing to note about the Model X is there are just a couple design flaws. For example, with the Falcon wing doors, when you open them up, sometimes they kind of make this cracking sound. Okay, so that's it. We just got finished inspecting everything. At the end of the day, it seems like the Model X is very similar to the Model S. It's just a lot cooler. I mean, those Falcon doors are pretty freaking awesome. But I don't really think that it makes me regret getting a Model S. I'm still really happy with my decision to get a Model S, and I don't think I will be getting a Model X anytime soon. Unless we have a family in the near future, we might change our minds. I don't know, we'll see, so you're gonna have to stay tuned for that. But until then, I'm gonna enjoy driving this around a little bit more before I have to turn it back in.